Hi, I'm here to talk to you about distracting from unwanted thoughts. So our minds are always moving and they're always thinking thoughts. A lot of these thoughts are just background chatter. They don't really matter, they kind of come and go. Some of these thoughts are actually helpful. They help to connect us to events or people in our lives. They help us reflect and appreciate things. They provide some growth and some movement in a positive direction in our life. Some of these thoughts, however, are unhelpful and they can actually be negative for us. Thoughts that you might experience for these unhelpful thoughts generally fall into the following categories. You want to try to avoid thoughts where you're jumping to conclusions, where you think you know the outcome before it even happens or you don't have all the information. You also want to try to avoid catastrophizing, so avoid always going to the worst case scenario in situations. You also want to avoid black and white thinking, where there's only two options and they're both extremes. We want to avoid shoulding. And what we mean by that is like shoulding, I should have done this, I should not have done this, where you're actually putting more pressure and more obligation on yourself, whether that's connected to reality or not. We want to try to avoid overgeneralization, assuming that everything that's going to happen is always going to turn out the same way. And then finally, emotional reasoning, taking how you're feeling and it's becoming thought in fact in your mind. So just because we're feeling sad doesn't mean that we're always going to feel sad. When you notice these thoughts, we want you to notice them, to label them, and then to try to focus on something within your current setting. That might be reaching out to a friend or a colleague or to a family member or doing something in your environment or just trying to shift your focus. But sometimes it's extremely powerful just to notice something and to label it for what it is.